The 35%. Did you know that there are thousands of sexual assault incidences and cases within our UC and CSU systems every year? Each case that carries someone who 9 out of 10 times does not get the justice they deserve? Well, sadly, it is the truth, and it is not only a problem within our country's school system, but it is a problem for many different ones around the world. Today, we'll be talking about sexual assault in higher education. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to this topic. However, today I would like to be talking about the increase in sexual assault cases in elite schools, um, how schools bring awareness, and how freshmen are more susceptible to sexual assault, and lastly, about one particular case of sexual assault and how it could have been handled better. Number one, the elites. Within a top engineering school within France, there were over 100 cases of sexual assault within the 2020-2021 year, and over 2,000 anonymous reports of incidences within an academic school year. This number is not only staggering, but shocking. It is unacceptable, and it is something that we need to raise more awareness about. Another thing to keep in mind is that 9 out of 10 of these incidents happened either on campus or at a campus-related event. This information gathered from the school is so shocking, and they would surely benefit from their school being more open to raising awareness and speaking out on these incidences to prevent them from happening within their school so frequently. In the article, they speak on how the elite schools are worse when it comes to sexual assault cases. However, when it comes to them giving a response to these tragic incidences, they provide responses that point blame on the students, and in the end believe the reason that this is happening is either because they're going to parties or because simply their excessive behavior, so they say. To hear that they would ever state something like that in regards to sexual assault is heartbreaking for the victims. Secondly, let's discuss about how one school brings awareness to sexual assault. The school I will be talking about in particular is K-State, and how they try to raise awareness for their students to prevent these events from occurring. K-State, to get a better understanding of how bad the situation was within their school, sent out surveys to find out how bad it was, to simply grasp the situation, and so that they can begin to start openly raising awareness for this cause. Next, to raise even more awareness, they held an assembly where people from their school shared incidences of their personal sexual assault stories, and to show others they are not alone and can reach out for support within their campus and community, which was very moving to many people, and they were admired for speaking out on their situation. One person in particular that spoke out was someone who went to the school and was raped as a freshman, but later came back and graduated and came back to the school to lead this event and make people feel more comfortable in speaking out about their experience, and ultimately define the school's commitment to addressing these issues. Nextly, I'm going to talk about how freshmen are more susceptible to sexual assault. The first thing CSU Long Beach talked about in the beginning was how they want their students to know they're prepared to provide sexual assault support to any victims. To provide support, they have resources such as counseling information, legal action, and physical and mental care. They went on to discuss how first-year college students are more susceptible to face unwanted sexual advances. Typically, the first 6 weeks on a new campus is when the spikes in assault are really high, and the cases increase about 50% within move-in day. They provided reasoning behind this information, such as people wanting to rush into new organizations and often feeling societal pressures that lead them into acting in unsafe ways. Lastly, injustice within our system. In this case, I will be talking about how there was an incident where for decades their campus gynecologist had been accused of sexually assaulting the students there. Many women were outraged and demanded a real investigation, which in the end did not take place. Many expressed how they should have looked into the evidence more, which is something everyone agreed on. Many victims felt they didn't get the justice that they deserved, which they didn't. And it makes you really think that if something that massive, that like on such a massive scale can happen, and they don't even bother to really look into the evidence, you could just imagine how this makes individual survivors of sexual assault feel, and in the end ultimately makes them feel more isolated, makes them feel like in the end they aren't going to get the help they need, and it makes people scared to speak out on their situations when everyone should feel comfortable enough to get the help that they need at the time they need it. In conclusion, today I spoke on sexual assault in higher education, from elite schools having a higher report of sexual assault to massive cases of assault not getting proper investigations. There's a lot of work to be done when it comes to how our schools raise awareness, but I believe that as this topic is destigmatized throughout the years, it will possibly be spoken on more and cases will go down. In the meantime, we must count on our CSU and UC systems to put these programs in place to raise awareness and prevent this from happening on such a massive scale here in our UC and CSU systems, not only in our country but simply around the world, because no matter where you are, this is a problem and we need something put in place in order to prevent it from getting any worse and to give the victims peace of mind and the security within their school to be able to speak out and get the help that they need. Thank you.